Hey, you there. Just wanted to let you know you are now listening to the AK Mindset Podcast. Yo, what's good, guys? Welcome. Today we have a special episode discussing the previous Prem season. And with us, we have also a special guest, friend of the pod, joining us today for this discussion. JACKO, say hi, talk to them.
Hello. The local football fan of the podcast is here.
100% bringing his knowledge and expertise, and just having a different voice on with us is always great. So we definitely appreciate you taking time out to speak with us, JACKO.
Yes, sir.
No problem. I always love talking some footy.
We love to hear it. And also, of course, we have Ed. Talk to them, bro.
Yo, we're back again talking some football, the highs and lows of this Premier League season. Let's go.
Yeah, so let's get straight into it then. A good Premier League season, I may add. Really enjoyed watching and following, especially since, as you guys know, man's an Arsenal fan, and it didn't end how I wanted, but definitely enjoyable. And I just wanted to hear from you guys your thoughts on, like, overall, do you feel like this season lived up to the hype, the anticipation, especially in relation to, like, is our league actually competitive? Is there real jeopardy at hand? Are you really nervous? Or, as we've seen, Man City has been destroying the league recently over the last couple of years. Has that made, like, football boring for you guys? So let me start with JACKO. Let's hear your thoughts on this season.
This season, as an overall, from the hype, is a major disappointment. In terms of Prem, it's a major disappointment for me, because you had two massive clubs that are always the top four candidates, fall off massively, Liverpool and Chelsea, and that created a massive void that was filled by Arsenal, which was a very good team and very fun to watch, but still, in terms of competitiveness standpoint, it was a letdown.
What about you, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, from my point of view as a United fan and even as a Premier League fan, I think it was a bit disappointing. I think most people are rooting for Arsenal to win it, just to do something, get a different winner, because Man City has just been pamming everyone. But it was a little bit disappointing with the end. But I think while we're in the season, I think I enjoyed it really well. I think just the ending, just like, expected ending, I guess. But when we were going through it, January time, it was like, it might go Arsenal's way. So it was exciting while it lasted, but the ending just kind of like, of course it is. So yeah, I don't think it's like it ruins, like, the Premier League when it comes to, like, what it is, because there were times when some teams were, like, dominating, like Man City are now, like United, for example, the three-peat they did. But it's been done before. It's just, it's just, I guess, from a point of view from someone who wasn't in a team that dominated, so it's a bit disappointing. But yeah, I think the end goal was a bit disappointing, but I was enjoying the ride while it lasted.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I would say that I also like to hear your thoughts after I say it. Like, watching Premier League football is highly entertaining in terms of how competitive on a day-to-day it is. But when you look at it holistically, when you see the type of teams that are dominating and usually at the top, usually is not really as competitive as it seems when you're watching it week in, week out. Because obviously, you compare to other leagues, you see other teams like Brighton, have the Newcastles, even the Fulhams, Crystal Palace, Brentford. Those kind of teams really make our league feel competitive. You know what I mean? Like, it gives you a sense that because we have so many teams in, I would say, the top 12, maybe 13 teams, everybody on their day can cause an upset. Everybody on their day can beat another team. It doesn't matter if you're the best in the league or the worst in the league. It's just, that's how the Prem is. And I think that the Prem definitely has been relying on that aspect to hide away from the fact that Man City are just running away with it every year. So do you, man, feel like the Prem is fake competitive?
I think from talent standpoint, Prem is definitely the most competitive league in the world. The problem is Man City created such a almost flawless machine that there is gonna be the gap from City in terms of winning, in terms of league performance, is so big that during the a weaker season, because ironically, how does it sound? It is a weaker season by City. We are talking high 80s, and we are talking it's a weaker season. They constantly were in 90s, and they still. I mean, the moment they went on a run, and you felt Arsenal started drawing the Southampton game, you're like, as someone who knows a Liverpool fan who knows this stuff, who they lost. I checked with my friends. City would go on those 25 almost unbeaten streaks, which are ridiculous for the league standpoint. And we're like, yeah, Arsenal's cooked. I didn't believe Arsenal will win the league for last 12 games, because I saw what City is now. They were literally unbeatable on Etihad whole year. And they just needed to drive away the away form, and they got it. And kudos to them. Guardiola and the staff really created a machine that is unstoppable. From competitive standpoint, though, the mid table is where it was this year. So I think that's what created the feeling of competitiveness, because there was a very strong mid table compared to previous years. Because previous years you had Burnley coming 7th, and that team wouldn't be close to Brentford or Fulham this year, especially first half Fulham.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think, like JACKO said, the last 12 games was they're gonna win this. Especially experiencing Liverpool fail to capitalize twice previously against the Man City team is just. I think they broke the league. I think it's less competitive now compared to what Premier League was back in the day. Back in the day, United versus Arsenal versus Chelsea, it was tough back then. But now I think they just broke the league. I think imagine having a 90-point season and you still don't win the league.
Imagine 98. Imagine 98.
And you don't win the league. You don't win the league. That's crazy. Man City broke what the Premier League is now. So I think, funny enough, I think they're trying to pull, or I don't think they're trying to, but they're pulling other teams to step up a little bit. Because if they don't, it's going to be kind of a Bayern Munich kind of situation when it's just every year it's the same team over again, or PSG kind of situations. Because
legitimately, Newcastle is the best shot that I see right now.
Funny enough, they are.
In terms of long term, they just not somehow, because of the pool, they pulled Sandro Tonali from Milan, and
crazy
because they had to sell him. I've seen stories that Tonali was actually in tears, and I understand him because
really?
he's a true Milanista. He was that's why always was the problem pulling Italian players from the Italian league, because they are already the clubs of their dreams. It's why put it? Yeah. And they just now are on it. And I think Newcastle is long term probably the best bet, unless you're gonna get the oil.
Maybe that's a discussion for another time. But I think I agree. Newcastle. I think Newcastle, then probably Arsenal. Arsenal, if they're smart, they need to be smart with what they do now. They have a good squad in their hands, and they just need to create a system that Man City created. Everyone's on the game, on the field, off the pitch. Really good. Because if not, we're gonna be real Farmers League now. Because no one's ever done 4 in a row, but Man City are very close, which is crazy because they're selling players. Yeah, players are leaving them.
It's actually scary.
But it's still scary.
We get Gundo, and they're gonna replace it with whoever.
Yeah, so they're selling players, good players as well. Everyone knows how good Gundo was, especially in this last few games. He's a clutch player, and still they have the depth there. Can you imagine? They're selling one of the best players, and it's still scary for the rest of the league. So I think it's just everyone needs to step up. If not, it's gonna be terrible.
Those edits of title race Gundo with R9 hair, bro. Killing.
It's too funny. It's him. But it's going to get scary for us. So Arsenal, Newcastle, they need to. I think have the best chances. And United, it just depends on the Qatari money. If it doesn't come, I have no faith in how that club is run. To be fair, I think we'll be in the spot almost every single season, 3rd and 4th place.
I think
3rd and 4th place.
I think Arsenal is well run. I think they have they started to have a structure, and also since Kroenke basically won the title in every other league of a club, like of a franchise he wins, he has in America. Now he maybe there is a hope that he may shift some even more money to Arsenal, but he's now investing and it's being shown.
Yeah, because they need to spend. That's what Arsenal haven't done in the past, and it seems like they're going to do it, especially with Declan Rice. So if they spend the money properly, it's going to be. I think they have a very good chance. Except for Newcastle, I think they have a very good chance of like pushing this Man City team even more. Then Liverpool, you never know with them. It was a bad season for them, but we know how good they are. But
Liverpool, if we got JD on this call, he would go for like 30 minutes, or he would just dodge the episode, like a Chelsea fan.
Nice.
But I don't know what happened this year with Liverpool though, because I didn't expect it. It was just
I've seen.
And it was injuries, wasn't it? Injuries at the start of the season.
Injuries and like the roster, but I've seen that Liverpool since like last 5 years. I think the owners spent 19th most from all the clubs in the Prem. So like Bournemouth owner actually put more money into the club.
Wow.
Than Liverpool owners into the club. Yes.
Wow.
They've been the Coutinho money meme is an actual thing.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That is very crazy. Before we get lost in the sauce, I do want to kind of keep us on track. We are going to have a little good discussion on terms of going to look at the Premier League table. I'm going to bring that up now for you guys to see. And just in regards to what happened, the finishing positions, you can go down, pick a team that you kind of want to discuss. I think is only right to first talk about City. We basically did, but let's spend a little bit of time talking about the conveyor belt that they are continuing to kind of just, it's like a train that's unstoppable. And like this City team, especially this season, has definitely impressed me. The thing that doesn't make sense is how they find the will to want to go again. You know what I mean? Like every season, every competition, how does Pep invigorate them? I think most importantly, we have to just discuss Pep, innit? Do you man feel like he's the best ever now?
No.
It's hard to argue against it, but I don't think so personally.
I think he still is a little longevity away from like Alex.
Yes, sir. Oh, I agree. I thought you were going to say yes, because you're a Barca fan as well, but
no, I think longevity is the biggest problem with him. I think he needs 5 years maybe, and then we're gonna like 3 years we can talk.
But he's unlikely to stay in the Prem for that. I doubt he will stay.
He said he was going to leave next year.
I think he's locked for like extra 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
I see him saying
that.
I think he's saying he's dipping after the contract, and it's gonna be like 2025. If he wins 2 Prems, it's a very good conversation.
Very, very good conversation. And that's like will be like 5 in a row. It's hard to argue against that, Because people were saying like, he hasn't done it in the hardest league. He did it 3 times. So, but it's hard to argue against it. I mean, it's definitely top 3.
Yeah, and he proved everyone like when the changes of the wingers have been made by City and they got like Grealish. And he started to bring Bernardo Silva on wings, and everyone says, "Oh, they don't have speed. And Guardiola was really pissed about it. He said, "We don't need speed in the current football," and he just literally proved it to us. He created a system where he has literally just techers in the wing.
It's crazy.
GG.
Especially when they play that like 4-lane when it's like 4 people up front. And then
it's a free back. It's that 3-2-4-1.
Crazy. It's actually, and then obviously the reinvention of John Stones into a sitting
that
midfielder.
Final against Milan, bro. I didn't.
Everywhere.
There is a joke. There is a running joke. I don't know if you saw it in community that John Stones is the closest thing to Franz Beckenbauer that has been, because they showed like a heat map from like 1974 World Cup. It was like a heat map of Beckenbauer, and like Stones is literally the same in that role.
Wow,
bro, was everywhere.
It was crazy. People forget that Beckenbauer was actually like a midfielder before he was like the greatest centre back of all time.
Yeah. But well, I don't know how he does it. Pep is his brain, his thing. But I think when it comes to,
I think that tactically he's the greatest of all time.
well, it's hard to argue against that. I hate Mourinho's tactics, to be fair, but I think he is. The only person who comes close is Mourinho, in my opinion.
I think it's flexible, yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to what pushes them, I think the only thing I can think of is just they're in a city where their rivals have a very, 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 very illustrious kind of career and greatness. I think it's just to match it, because he can. If he stays for more than 2 years, he can match it. But I think that's one thing that can push them. You know what? They say we couldn't do the treble. That's what they say. Man City, Man United, everything they can say. We can do everything we want to do, but if we don't do the treble, they're gonna still have something against us. They push them to get trouble now. Just we did it first. What if it gets 2? Then what? So I think that's something that can push them. Because apart from that, when you have this kind of high winning mentality, it can be hard to say, what do we do next? Because you've done everything. But I think once you have a rival who's done more than you, I think edging closer to that kind of longevity of what Man United was can be a pushing.
Knowing
forward.
Knowing Pep from Barca's stint, if he has a board that fully supports him, he can run endlessly. That was the problem with Barca, where Rossell would actually get on his head, and he was literally tired from all the drama. And Mourinho wore him down too. That was the thing. Mourinho's shenanigans actually wore him down. Now I think he matured in that way that he just goes endlessly. He will go endlessly.
I think he should stay in City now. I think he can create a dynasty. I mean, it's already a dynasty.
I think he will leave in 25 after the contract.
Where's he gonna go though?
National probably. I think international actually.
I mean,
he might like Spain.
I definitely cement himself to wins a World Cup. Wins a World Cup, cements him as the greatest.
Oh, if he won World Cup, it would be the Messi winning World Cup for coaches.
Cement him. There's no argument again. But
we're definitely looking at a special career. What Pep has been able to do with different type of teams. Going through the rest of the top 4. Let me hear your thoughts on Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal were definitely one of the dark horse that came out of nowhere this season. Especially if you saw, I scanned the whole community, the football community. Nobody had Arsenal in their top 4.
Had them 6.
It basically was like that. People had them out of Europe totally. Had them 8th.
Yeah.
Had them. It was I saw the average was probably 6th to 7th, and from the beginning, when we saw how they were gathering up steam, especially with the young collective, and Martinelli, Saka, Jesus, the introduction of Zinchenko, JACKO playing a different
his
role.
actual position. Finally, not a DM JACKO.
Imagine his last full season, his proper season, it looks like. And we actually play him in the position that he imagine. But it's not his fault. We never actually ever have the right players in place.
Only once you lose them correct, and he was actually decent.
Legit.
Yeah.
So what do you man think of the Arsenal season? Was it successful even though they didn't win the Prem, even though it looked like that?
100% successful. I don't care what anyone says. The banter aside, it was a successful season. I know there's arguments between Man United fans and Arsenal fans. Ignore that. It's a great season. When was the last time you guys have been in the Champions League? It's a successful season. Arsenal looks more attractive for players to go to. If you guys didn't weren't here, Declan Rice will be looking at you guys. It's a very good season.
I think he will choose Arsenal. When Arsenal looks competitive, Arsenal has the second biggest crowd in England. Third. Okay, it's United, Liverpool, and then Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%. It's an amazing season for you guys.
If you have money and the structure, this was a very key season for y'all.
Yeah, it was good. It was a shame you guys didn't top off with a trophy and you guys focused too much on the Premier League, but it was an amazing season, man. You guys should be proud of what you do. I know the banter. I think the banter is just focused on the Arsenal fans, because some Arsenal fans were infuriated on the timeline and everywhere. But as a team, the team should be proud of themselves. I don't care what anyone says.
Twitter Arsenal fans are an entity. That's what I'm But in terms of Arsenal, there are two Arsenals for me. There is expectation before the season, where looking from that perspective, it is way beyond what was predicted, what was hoped. Because I think, ask any Arsenal fan, if I tell you are in mid-80s in terms of points, you might think, okay, we're gonna be about third, City, Liverpool probably gonna be, and we're gonna be calm third. We're gonna take it blindly. But middle, like January, let's say, Arsenal expectations, you'll blow it. I'm sorry, you'll blow it. It is a bottle in a way, in a sense that it was you could see that you're not deep enough. Arsenal was not deep enough to continue the pace, and Arsenal fans learned a very Liverpool fan lesson. You have to keep up, otherwise you're gonna lose, and that's what happened. Like those 3 games, loss of concentration. Players that were actually supposed to play well didn't play well. Unfortunately, I'm looking at you, Saka. I think that he failed out in the second part of the season.
Yeah.
It was shown. That's why you all need a backup. Nicolas Pepe is not gonna be the answer, but you all need a backup on the right wing because someone needs to spell for him for whole league, and especially since Arsenal has no Champions League. Yeah, someone needs to bail him out, and he needs to be quality enough to compete for high places. And I think Arsenal, that was a very lukewarm story that finished in a very non-lukewarm way. That's how I view it. But I think for Arsenal fans, I'll be very hopeful. I would be like, owners investing. We now have clout again. We show our standing in the league, even if the Newcastles, the Liverpools, because I think Liverpool might have a comeback now, even though they're not gonna put much players. I mean, McAllister is probably their only actual signing that's gonna be big for the club. But we still never know United. I would be wary though. The one thing I would be wary though is, even though Arsenal has the structure, don't go like into the season. You're gonna expect second, and then what's up? We are 5th at the end of the season, because that can happen. That definitely can happen, because you're gonna have a season where you finish in mid-70s next year, and let's say the Liverpools and the Newcastles improve and United, you're suddenly 5th.
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's definitely true.
Consistency is the key now.
Yeah, I think we just have to we built a good foundation this year. It's all about focus, putting together a plan that can bring the best of us for the next season and compete, and obviously with the expectation that every other team is going to be back to full fire. You can't expect people to slack like they did this year. It has to be, we're going to compete with everybody at their best. Moving on to the 3rd place team, United. Mixed emotions of the seasons. I'll let Ed take the lead because this is his team. So how do you feel?
It was a roller coaster, man. It was really mixed. It was up and down. I've never been so excited and disappointed in the same season. We finally won a trophy, even though it was a Mickey Mouse trophy, as people say. But I think it built that kind of winning mentality, no matter how small it is. But at the same time, we lost 7 now to our biggest rivals, and that was one of the most painful experience I've had in football. Except for losing to Barcelona twice, this is one of the most painful things I've had in football. It's a weird season. We did well, then we fell off. I think it was just the depth was just, you could tell. A few injuries, and if Rashford falls off, then we're just done. We relied too much on Rashford. He did well, but the's not the only one in the team. Someone got injured in the back, and we're gone. Martinez. No, it was on again, off again season. But I think what Ten Hag did was really good. It was really good. I believed in him. In fact, I predicted us to be 4th place, and we finished 3rd, so it wasn't too far off. It was slightly better, and we won the trophy, so it was good. But I think there's so many places we need to fix up because, like we keep saying, next season's not gonna be easy. Newcastle with a better base, better players. Liverpool's not gonna be the same. They're gonna be bad 2 seasons in a row. I think Chelsea might surprise some people because the only way is up for them, in my opinion. No, we can expect Tottenham to be.
Chelsea can come back, but yeah.
Only way is up is funny because
they're the bottom right now.
It is the only option.
I'm gonna tell you all this. This is gonna be my team for later, but there is one extra team that you all might be wary if you are a top 4 contender or a Europe contender next year. But I'm gonna go to it later.
I would love to hear that. But yeah, I think Tottenham is the only one who can expect them to be the same place, especially if Harry Kane leaves. But I think it's going to be more competitive next season. That's why I predict it's going to be a very competitive season next year. So we need to fix. And with the whole issue with the Glazers and the Qataris, it's not looking too good for us. I think if we don't build, it's just going to be the same 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th if we see what happens next season. So I think we need to build. We need a goalkeeper because De Gea is a legend. I love him, but he needs to go.
He will.
We need. He needs to go. People make fun of him, but he did well for us like 5 years ago.
Okay.
5 years.
I mean, he might be masked by other people, man.
Oh, true. That's the thing. We had really good defense, but he just needs to go. We need a Bob. We need a good goalkeeper in this day and age. Then we need to build on a depth. Then we have to have someone who can actually score with the head, and it's not just 6'7" and does nothing. And we had no striker. We actually had no striker. Marshall was like, Walt Weggers played more than Marshall.
Let's not speak about it.
Walt Weggers came in January and played more games.
Give him more chances to Martial is like trying to give more chances to Zion at this point.
Exactly. It was just so we had no striker as far as I'm concerned. Marshall had to play that role. Sancho was supposed to be his redemption arc, and it didn't. Nothing happened. Anthony's playing well, then it's something. So it's just there's too many problems. Casemiro was our best player, but the red cards, the referee hates him.
Random red cards, like he never had a red card in his career, and just
in Spain, they just don't rate him. Then Martinez got injured. There's too many things we need to fix. So I think it's looking shaky for us. Even though we had a decent season, I won't say a great season. Even though we had a trade, but it's just for how bad everyone else did. I think we should have been in the position that Arsenal did, but Arsenal took the chances and we didn't, in my opinion, even though they dropped off at the end. But we just, I don't know, it was just some games we didn't deserve to, we deserved to draw, but we didn't need to draw or lose, and we still did. And obviously the big ones, I think the confidence hit when we were 7-0, and Man City owned us this season, basically. We only won them once, and that was even questionable. So, it's just, we need to improve. We need to improve massively. If not, like Arsenal, we might find ourselves in 5th and 6th next season, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you need stability. That's the main thing United
need. We need a spine. We need a spine.
United doesn't have stability since Fergie left.
Yeah.
And Mourinho maybe for like 2 years. Ole did relatively well if you look back at it.
To be fair, yeah. I think they gave him too much stick, but he did decent.
I think they gave him too much stick, but I think it was the question of a ceiling. But in terms of United, the biggest problem is for United now stability and goalkeeper. Now, for next year, if you'll not get a striker and not a goalkeeper, if the Gea stays, you might be out of Europe, and I'm very serious about it because this was a very Spursy season. If you think about it, it was very Pochettino Spurs season because Pochettino Spurs would play the best in the league for a while and then just fall off the cliff for 2 games, come back, we can play again, and then just ups and downs. That's how I think a Spurs season would look like. Very big beneficence of league becoming way weaker at the top. I think the season you had now, you wouldn't get Champions League normally.
Oh, absolutely not.
I would be wary of Liverpool, Newcastle. You said it, yeah. Chelsea maybe. That's a very big maybe because I think they doing a long-term project. Because I mean, and also I don't have trust for Todd. We'll see. But the team I would be wary is Aston Villa actually.
Oh, really?
Because they
I thought you were going to say Brighton.
No, Aston Villa. Brighton, I don't think so because not only McAllister is left. I think I said that is next on the list.
Is going to leave. Yeah.
I think
And they have European football now.
Aston Villa is getting heavy position into fighting for Europe, because not only Emery, I think, made it the third best side at the second half of the season, but the rumors that they're out for what types of players Aston Villa is about to get, it's about a very scary season in Birmingham, because names like Chiesa are actually being real.
That's crazy.
Like, if not Newcastle, apparently Aston Villa is the second club to trying to get him. And boy, this guy fits Premier League and Emery system like a glove.
100%.
Those counters with Chiesa would be disgusting. And also, Unai Emery, the best coach for strikers. Like, what he did with Ollie Watkins is just beyond me. But going back to United, goalkeeper, striker, and actual depth. That is the biggest problems. Thankfully, you're not gonna have a Frankie saga again. I think so.
Oh, please no. But I really want to. The
annoying part of it is Frankie will be the best player to play in United midfield.
100%. That's literally what we need. That's literally what we need. But
Simon Tonali is also gone now, so
yeah. So that's
hopefully one thing for United that's hopeful is there was an article where Porto needs to sell like next 5 days. They need to generate 50 million euros to not get screwed by FFP.
Oh, okay.
I think you might get Diogo Costa at a little lower price than thought. So.
Oh, please, because I love Onana, but my first choice would be
Costa
nice.
is ridiculous.
I've
seen some stuff. I see some eye test and start stuff. Like what he is on 23 is very, very promising.
Yeah. That's my first choice.
He looks like a better keeper than De Gea when he was coming. So
yeah,
that's definitely big praise. Just to close off the top four before we discuss other teams, Newcastle is another one that is very surprising, but then obviously understanding the context in regards to the takeover and the money that was pumped into that team. Just the talent that they've been able to acquire and the belief in just the supporters, I think, has really pushed them this season. And finishing top four is incredible. Champions League football, crazy. It's crazy to think that Newcastle are back. Newcastle is such a football heritage team that it actually makes me happy when I see them being successful, you know what I mean? So what do you guys think about Newcastle, man?
If you're a casual fan of Premier League and you see Newcastle back, you have literally like tears in my eyes. Heritage back. Every positive emotion that you can have is there. The problem is once you know what's behind Newcastle, it's like tears in my eyes, but for different reasons.
Different reasons, but I'm not happy about this at all. The only way is up. It's mad. The only way is up for them as well, and then fourth place. So it's scary.
They another beneficiaries of weaker top. Draw merchants. I think the most draws in the Prem, if I'm not mistaken. And they were very pragmatic. Eddie Howe proved that he is a very good manager when he has tools to do so. Found Miguel Almiron was a sensation for half a year. Like what was going on?
Oh, he was different. He was so different.
Like he took Jack Grealish's words to his soul.
Too hard, man.
100%.
It was some Zenkai boost what happened there, but I think Isak was very promising for the biggest spending of their club, and the player that was very shaky in terms of will he pan out, will he not? He had good season in La Liga, but another season was trash. How he will pan out? I think the base is there in the up front. They have money, of course, to do so, but with the other clubs being really wary of Newcastle, they will not let them spend that much, as people think. I think they're gonna have one or two massive buys, like they just bought Tonali, and then they're gonna have 2-3 or those like Sven Botmans for like, which is, I mean, this is a Prem, so 30-40 million is a lower level signing, but this is a Prem when Chiesa can go to Aston Villa for 60 sometime soon. Or to Newcastle. If Newcastle gets Chiesa,
it's over, man.
Listen, they're gonna play Chiesa and Isak on counters. Yeah, you need one Bissaka to handle this.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
Wan-Bissaka, my guy.
Oh,
I think
it was a very. Speaking of that, shout out Aaron Wan-Bissaka, shut down a lot of players.
yeah, improvement. I think it was one of the best improvement when it comes to United. Just going back to that team because we United fans knew what it was before. It was just a very. I don't know whether they didn't have the confidence or they didn't give enough chances. It was just, but this season it was impressive. Yeah. I think that's the kind of battle we need. Dallo and Wan-Bissaka fighting for a spot. I think that's the kind of competition we need. That's the kind of depth we need. If not, we can't.
You're gonna need upgrade over Dallo.
Yeah.
You're gonna need upgrade. But yeah, Newcastle, they're gonna be here. They're gonna stay here for a long time.
For a while, man.
Prepare for the City, Newcastle to be a very permanent on those top spots for next 15 years or whenever oil dries out.
That's the new United versus Arsenal. This Man City versus Newcastle.
I think Newcastle. And the funny thing is, Newcastle is the actual heritage club, so it's like,
yeah,
you can't be like that mad.
You're not even as angry as you should be because you're like, it's Newcastle, man. Some
standout players. Shout out Kieran Trippier. He showed that
amazing
Premier League level. I think he really proved that he is so quality that he will build. You can build a culture with him as your building stone. Shout out Sven Botman, who proved. I think I was a believer in Sven Botman that he can really be a very good defender. I think he was playing over what I expected. Shout out the defense. That defense was great. They still need to improve over Dan Burn because I'm sorry, Dan Burn. We saw once. Was it Mares? Was one game when I saw like one winger just toy with Dan Burn and it wasn't pretty. Well, yeah,
even Anthony did at one point, which is
Anthony was another one who was literally just cooking him. It was ridiculous. I think Madueke also had like waves on him for one random game, and I didn't know what happened. But yeah, that's gonna need to be upgraded. Shout out Fabian Schär, who showed that he can be a starter on the top 4 team. Who would have thought that Fabian Schär can be a starter at the top 4 team? Bruno Guimaraes, class, permanent class. Really I love how he plays. And probably that's it. Of course, shout out because I am a personal fan of Alan Saint-Maximin. You know, Gucci. Gucci.
Silky player, man.
For me, still, I have a friend who is a big hater of him. Not hater, but one of probably the more realistic guys who is like, they need to upgrade over Gucci. But I'm like, they're gonna probably upgrade over Gucci. But you will have those games where that 3-3 against Man City when they had where Gucci was just unplayable. It was ridiculous what he was doing. Like Kyle Walker had problems with him, and Kyle Walker has problems with you.
You know you're good.
And Joel Linton. Shout out Joel Linton. Shout out Joel Linton because that moved for him to center mid. Masterstroke. Actually, playing where he was maybe supposed to play. He wasn't meant to be striker apparently. But yeah, with Tonali though, that midfield with style of play that Eddie Howe does, beware because Bruno and Tonali might be the best midfield in the Prem against most teams. Maybe just City, maybe.
Yeah.
On their day, those two are gonna be the best holding midfield in the Prem, and I don't think there any other club that can like rival. Maybe Chelsea and City when they are before, but we'll see. We'll see what they don't do.
And all this without spending the money they could have as well. That's the funny thing. So everyone starts spending money.
Oh, they could have like if they could do what City did. When one window for City was David Silva, Aguero, Yaya Toure, and like
it was for everyone.
Yeah.
If they could do stuff like this, I think we will already have them as like second top 2 candidates for next season. But I don't think that's the case yet.
I think what they're doing now is better though. I think they're building slowly. They're building
and they
for
still
the
were
long run.
Surprised. They still were surprised because we had them like 7th. I had like them 7th, and no one was a believer.
I had
Like,
them sixth actually. Crazy enough.
Yeah, you are one of those lads. Like I remember when I did like preview stream with my guys. I was like the only guy who I think had them 7th, or like there was another guy, but most of them had like 10th, 9th Newcastle.
Yeah. I never believe in Tottenham, so I had them sixth.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only reason, because Tottenham was 7th for me, and Arsenal was like 5th. But yeah, I just had a feeling that it might be that kind of year for them, and today they did better than I thought. So the only ways up, like we said, it's gonna be scary for us if we don't, because they're closest to us than Man City right now, I think.
Yeah, this team is definitely something special, something that you can tell, it's going to be very scary in the next couple of years, and even now. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they develop over the next couple of seasons, how being in Europe kind of affects or changes it. How that.
That's true. That's a good point.
How
that's
they kind of
like.
Yeah, that's going to be a new challenge for them, innit? A new.
Yeah.
Maybe Anthony Gordon will play some minutes now.
Hey, he might have to. He actually might have to.
One fun meme. Whenever Garnacho got his hair blonde, Alejandro Gordino, bro. Alejandro Gordino.
I need to hear from you guys now on I think we'll go with worst first. 2, and you can just discuss or talk about it, let us know details. 2 of the worst performing teams, which kind of includes not just based on position, but also just context in overall running of the team, overall construction, fan base, expectation. So JACKO, why don't you just lead us off?
Okay, I will not speak about the elephant in the building. I will leave it to y'all. I will talk about the worst team they think was a very big disappointment. Is Leicester?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yes, exactly.
Is Leicester? I think I'm gonna save the top 6 one later, but Leicester is the very clear example of when you don't invest, you will drop in this league. That's what happened. That's what happened. And Brendan Rodgers tax. Let's be fair. Like Brendan Rodgers tax, it wore down. It was like his 5th season of, I believe, and it's just a pattern. The team dies. Usually it goes like it's a very Walmart version of Mourinho, where it's good first 2 years and then just when Mourinho can stay, because the Mourinho problem is the more of management and he's more radical, but Brendan Rodgers is actually like weighed on you at some point in time. So yeah, I mean that means now that a very good crop of players can be bought for way
for free, for cheaper. Yes.
Tielemans is in Aston Villa now. Tielemans went to Aston Villa. Like I'm telling you, Aston Villa is gonna be very good next year. I believe so.
It's gonna be scary. Yeah.
But
Maddison as well. Might go to. I don't know why he's just choosing Spurs. He's saying what he prefers to go to Spurs.
Harvey Barnes can be bought out.
Oof.
They have very good crop of talent.
Leicester's not coming back up, are they? They're losing.
For example, Fulham can go to Leicester, give us 20 for Kelechi, and they might actually agree. Maybe 30. And Kelechi can be a very good player for Fulham that can like make them stay in the top in the like mid table. Yeah. They can stay. But that's from team standpoint, from fan base standpoint. You're Arsenal fans in January, man.
100%.
Oh my god.
Oh, you guys gassing, man. We weren't that bad.
What?
Listen.
You weren't that bad. Everyone else was just.
You weren't that bad, boy. But listen.
You're not bad at all. You're the best Arsenal fan I know.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was scared it was going to go.
For me, you are the second best Arsenal fan I know, because I have another guy who is in the JD server that is an Arsenal fan that is pretty realistic. Like he was very confident. I'm gonna be good with top 4. Of course, he would run his banter, but he usually was calm. But Arsenal fans from like December, when we saw this lead is getting big, till like February, It was one of the most toxic Twitters you could ever be if you had the Arsenal heavy timeline. It was ridiculous. Like, Arsenal fans, this compound of how long y'all were starved of like even sniffing top first place. It was like 7 years since like that season where Giroud just flooded y'all league against Leicester.
Yeah.
Way too long. That's for sure.
It's like y'all had no sniffing of any even European stuff.
Exactly.
And when you like woke up, you were like full on. It was like Spurs fans on crack. And I don't even wanna I like compare y'all to Spurs fans because Spurs fans are like smaller and like then after they not won anything. But looking at last, let's say 20 years, is this next season is gonna be the 20th anniversary of the Invincibles. Oh my god, man. It was bad. It was really bad. The biggest problem was whenever you brought your wingers in the conversation, you couldn't have a conversation.
Brother. Saka's the best in the world.
Martinelli conversations were disgusting. JACKO conversations were disgusting.
Even Odegaard, who I think is good. Sometimes you guys just went too far.
I rate Odegaard very highly. I would agree with a lot of them, but I rate Martin very highly. I was a big believer from Sociedad days. So when I was discussing when Odegaard came to Arsenal for like 40 million, I was talking to that friend from the JD7. I'm like, y'all got a steal. Just wait. He's actually gonna play very well, and he proved my expectations right. He even probably played a little better than my expectations were. But yeah, the saving grace. Thank Christ, number 5. Not really thank Christ because the allegations. Let's not go hyperbolic over him.
Yeah.
Let's not go hyperbolic over him because that situation is very sad. I'm not gonna talk about situation. But number 5, having this situation is the only thing that prevented us from him being in conversations that he wasn't even supposed to be in the first place.
Tell me he's better than Casemiro. Are you dumb?
I bet you number 5 would be in those Pirlo convos. He would be in those Xavi convos, in those Busquets convos, in those, I don't know, like Pep in 90s convos. Because he was playing very well in the first half of the season. He was probably the best DM in the Prem for first half of the season. With Casemiro, those two was playing great. Yeah. But oh my god. If I speak on Ben White, Benny Blanco, oh my god.
Mr. Blanco.
I rate Ben White very high. Saliba convos were.
No, Saliba combos. I'm not gonna lie to you. That one is where I have to at least say some voice because that's the only one where I gassed in the way, like the foundation of what he could be is crazy.
I respect Saliba. I respect Saliba because he stuck through the loans and he proved that I am that good. You play me or nothing. Because Saliba, I think Saliba is one of the keys why the season was so good. Because if you look at the roster before the season, you are like, okay, that defense, y'all got Zinchenko, that's a very good player. Gabriel, good player. Ben White, okay, maybe that right back. Ben White was meant to be a center back, and then Tomiyasu. The Saliba was not in the convos for starting lineup, I think, if I remember correctly. And his ascension really shored up the defense. Zinchenko could play very aggressive because Ben White would be playing more of a defensive role. And I think that he was one of the catalysts. Him, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard and Jesus is the 5 I would pick out that are the biggest reasons why the season was as good as it was.
How about Ramsdale as well? He did pretty well.
It's not about them performing the best because I think Gabriel was probably over whole season was slightly better than Saliba, But the ascension to the level where they where we weren't think where they would be was over. Was what did it. Yeah. That's like my.
That's two great picks, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, and you explained them very well. And I bet there's a lot of people who agree with you. If you do, note it down in the comment section. Let us know. Ed, what about you, G? What was your two picks?
My two picks are gonna be the elephant in the room and Leicester as well. And to be fair, Everton, those guys. For such a big club, because that's not a small club.
Everton.
That's not a small boy in this thing. That's not a small boy in this thing.
The city of the 80s. The city of the 80s.
The fact they celebrated staying up showed me how far they've fallen. How you run onto the pitch? 17. And you ran onto the pitch because you survived. You should be embarrassed. That's like saying.
Shout out Alexi Wobby. Shout out Alexi Wobby, bro.
But Everton was just, I don't know, just did. Yeah. Then obviously, I'm going to speak about it. Chelsea. Wow. Just big money. For what?
What do you think was the average of predictions for Chelsea players? It was third, I think.
Sorry?
I think people had them first in some of predictions.
Literally, they did. I had them third. So they were high. They were up there.
I think I had them fourth, probably.
Definitely top four for me.
It was undoubtedly top four. And
they were. If you didn't have them top four, it was the only reason you believed in Conte that much. It's
unbelievable. They were making jokes when they were dropping down the league, but to actually finish outside the top 10, that's the worst a top 6 team has done in how many years? And I think what makes it even worse is the amount of money spent.
I think that's what makes it the worst.
But to an extent, it was expected because they spent so much money on things they didn't need to spend money on. They needed a striker.
Some of the transfers were, when you look at the money and with context now, they were smart transfers. Not smart transfers, they were good transfers, like Enzo Fernandez. Even though you look at
that was a great signing.
You see 120. You see 120, you think overpaid. What's he gonna be? But you looking at what Chelsea is, how big of a club it is, new ownership. They have money. They will run the price up.
Yeah, it's Premier League, isn't it? Premier League money is different. Yeah. 80 million players going to sell for 120. Because I thought it was 80 million.
You know damn well if you are a club like yours, you will have to pay plus 10% of just name alone.
I blame United for this because of Harry Maguire and Pogba. Yes. I blame my team for this. We started this nonsense because Harry Maguire was not 80 million. I love Pogba to bits.
Pogba at the time was worth it, yeah.
But the fact that he didn't do as good as he did,
yes,
and the fact we bought him, we sent him out to Juventus and bought. Oh my God! It's not about if he was worth it or not. It's the fact that he was in our academy.
The price was understandable.
Yeah, the price was understandable.
That's the thing.
Yeah. It was because he was a class player. I mean, you know what he did in Juventus, but the fact we sent him away for such low money, that it's like, well, we're gonna buy him back. But we had him. Why did we sell him in the first place? Then Maguire is the one I never understood. It was to be fair, people forget how good he was in Leicester, but he was not 80 million.
He was. I think people lie about how good he was at Leicester. That's the thing.
He was good.
He had the cloud. He had cloud about him that he shouldn't.
Pep wanted him at one point, didn't he? He was good. I was hearing people wanted him, but 50 million was max, but not 80 million.
Pep wanted him, but Pep wanted him for 40 as a backup on some occasion, not as the cornerstone of the defense for 5 years. No. The cornerstone of the defense is a Lisandro Martinez type player.
Exactly. But
not even maybe a cornerstone, that maybe a little too hyperbolic. By a key defender for your team is Lisandro Martinez type of player.
Yeah.
The biggest transfer laugh that I have from Chelsea is Mudryk, and it's not close.
100%.
It's not close.
But he has talent though. He could be something special.
But come on, man. That's youngster money that you're supposed to be. You're paying the same amount as you're going to pay for Bellingham for Mudryk.
Mudryk is a 60 million player at best.
At best, I agree. I was thinking 70, 75.
Like
but
Kai
100?
Havertz from Bayer Leverkusen was way better than Mudryk ever wished to be in Shakhtar. I am sorry. I don't. When Kai Havertz was about to like go from Leverkusen, he was meant to be top 3 midfield youngsters in the world, probably.
No, he was up there. I think he was rated probably the best out of a lot, especially of his generation.
Like
His group.
nowadays, another Leverkusen player, Florian Wirtz, he is rated at 70 million, and he clears Mudryk in any ability outside of maybe speed. Or not maybe, but because he's faster. But like Wirtz is 2 tiers over him, and he's like worth 20 million less than what Mudryk was bought for.
And in fact, he was twerking for a different team as well. Oh, it was just, I was just laughing throughout the whole thing. It was not, I mean, I shouldn't be talking too much because my team spent 100 million on Anthony. I love Anthony, but everyone knows it's not that much. But I still think we're better than what we did.
Anton is another 50 million player who was paid too much.
Double the price.
He is 50 million level. But Mudryk, I think Chelsea, if you want to think about Chelsea had a very franchise type season with like American ownership, where you look at like NBAs, you see this season where new coach blow it up. Todd literally came into like it's NBA. Get a new coach, blow it all up, invest in the young talent, and instead of picks, he just spend however much he can, and just hope for the future, and have them on lower contracts, because the contract thing is better, because I think the most he gave contract is like Enzo for 180. Yeah. It is like very incentive based. But yeah.
Well, these men are there for 7 years, aren't they?
Yeah, they are very long. They are locked for a very long time. That's the thing. I think they go in long term because they have money, and Todd doesn't care about. He will reap the profits anyway because it's Chelsea Football Club.
True.
The sporting product, we'll see. We'll see. That's gonna be a very big question now.
Well, that's the thing. Next year, Daniel doesn't believe me. That's probably why he's not even in this conversation. But I think I have them for my prediction is 6th place for them next season.
On the chance.
I think they're going up. It depends. They need to adjust the big thing they need to adjust, which they seem to be ignoring. You need a goal scoring striker.
Yeah, that's the thing. But with this convo, also, I need to ask Reg, how you feel about Kai Havertz?
Overpaid.
You know what?
65 million. Wow.
Like, you pay the market price. I think especially in this market, I think everybody is overpaid. Like, it's a prem to prem. It's a prem to prem. Like, there's always going to be that kind of disgusting prices. It's a rarity now for a transfer to be actually practical and logical.
You will not get another Zinchenko's and Jesus's. Those were like gifts.
That was gifts. Yes, that was like parting gifts from Pep to Arteta. Well. Yeah, definitely not gonna happen again. But Kai Havertz, I've been kind of warming to the idea. It's not the necessity that I thought we required at the time. And I was kind of confused because it kind of came out of nowhere in regards to why that's not what we kind of need. But then I respect his ability. I respect his quality.
Two like statements in one question. With Kai Havertz, the statement is you all need depth. He is the depth.
Yeah.
That's one. 2, I've seen a report where he is meant to be tried as a JACKO role, which he can maybe do, but when you think Kai Havertz, you think forward. Maybe it's because of Tuchel. We'll see. But when I think Kai Havertz, I think more of an Odegaard role. If we do in midfield, maybe Mikel gonna switch little the system and gonna do something similar to Pep. Maybe not the 3-back, but somewhere like a 4-1 pivot and then 2 very offensive midfielders. that kind of system. We'll see. But the question is, if Kai Havertz plays in the midfield, what you want as a forward option in terms of the depth at forward now? Because there is a conversation about Balogun, Nketiah on those striker spots, but you'll need a winger.
Do you know, it's kind of tough because I just, looking at our team and the way it's kind of put together, I understand where Arteta his mind is, especially this season, is getting a lot of quality, technical, high RQ players that can play his system, similar to obviously Pep, where he did some of his education under. So in regards to that, adding someone like Kai Havertz into that system makes sense, because our system doesn't rely on one person banging loads of goals or grabbing loads of assists. It relies on everybody contributing. That's what it relies. You just have to contribute to a high level, and all you have to do is add quality and quality depth, and that's what he is and presents. In regards to up front, I don't think we have to spend a crazy amount. If somebody special comes on the market, maybe. The striker market at the moment is kind of odd, because you either have to go for... It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's in a weird place.
We are back to the place, maybe remember when... back in like 2018, 19, probably those years, where the striker market was Luka Jovic was the number one option in the striker market, and the number two was like Piontek. Like, there were no strikers on the market because everyone was locked in the teams. Everyone that was coming up with the talent was not ready yet. And now it's a very similar thing where although there is a talent, it's priced out.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to pay 150 for Osimhen.
That's crazy, man. Jesus Christ.
It's the money thing. The market
Laurentiis, the Napoli owner, is known for being a very...
It's difficult.
It's difficult. He was asking 100 million for Koulibaly for 5 years straight. He just didn't get it. So new year, new me. I'm saying Koulibaly. I have Kim and Jay. Yeah. Which by the way, Ed, apparently you're getting Kim and Jay soon.
We are.
There was a report where United is up. If Kim and Jay moves this year, it's gonna be to United.
I thought it was definitely going to Bayern Munich. I was very disappointed because we're losing everything.
Y'all are back in the convos, but we'll see.
Thank God! I'm on my knees.
Take the mentality of what my United friend Commodore has, which is 31st of August. That's gonna be my team.
Oof. There's so many things I want.
That's what a lot of football fans should do. And after the trade deadline, let's see my team, and then we'll answer the situation.
We'll answer the discussions there, but I don't know because there's Vlahovic there as well, but the money you're going to pay for him, I don't think is worth it. I'm talking about 90 million for Vlahovic. I don't think it's worth that.
Talent-wise, maybe, but I think we would.
It's just not a necessity like that. I don't think
for United, yes. For Arsenal, no.
Yeah, we're not desperate for a striker. It's on to fit our system. We need. That's all. 100%. We need a winger. That's all we need. We don't need a striker. We have enough flexibility in our team and the way it plays that I know we'll get goals and it'll look nice. It just needs depth.
A very sneaky one, which I mean. I think he's unmovable, but somehow one of the perfect players for y'all would be Rodrigo from Madrid.
I agree, but unreachable.
He's unreachable, but this type of mold where he's underused in Madrid because he has to play right side, when he's way better on left side. And it's every time he plays on left side, he shows that he is just below Vinicius in ability. But you'll need a difference maker on outside. Trossard was a very good signing. I think he will be there as a backup left winger /9 for years. But that right wing spot needs to be addressed.
It definitely needs to be filled. So quickly, guys, tell me your best two teams, either based on expectation and outperforming that expectations, or just two teams that you thoroughly enjoyed this season, you think really made the Prem exciting?
Brighton.
I have to
But
agree
I
with
was going to
that.
say Brighton.
They
as
are
well.
the big one. They are the big one. In terms of watching their game, in terms of playing, I think a little blessing in disguise was Chelsea getting Potter from Brighton, because they actually got a better coach now.
Exactly, the Zerbi.
The Serbi show that he has the mentality, the facilities to really continue it. We'll see what he will do. Like, he discovered Mitoma for some reason. Like,
Crazy.
wow,
Yeah,
Graham
man,
Potter
different.
literally sat him in the bench for no reason, and the moment that Serbi came here, okay, you are my winger, and you're gonna play the That
And he
was
did it well. Mitoma was, I think, one of my best players in this. I enjoyed watching this season.
There's
Yeah, I
probably
agree.
one or two more wingers played better overall than him, but in terms of like surprises, Kaoru Mitoma is up there. But the other team, which is more based on performance than eye test and like having fun watching them play, is I'm gonna be the Aston Villa. Aston Villa has higher ceiling than Brighton, because the players that they brought, like Boubacar Kamara, looks great, and the players that they are supposed to get, like Chiesa, maybe. Maybe there's too much Chiesa hype for Aston Villa. I pray he's gonna be in a different team. God, if somehow Pep gets him, Jesus Christ.
Please don't say that. Don't say that, please. No.
Listen. Thank football gods that Rafael Leao wants to stay in Milan, because
Oh.
woo, better not have Leao in the Prem, because you would wish for Leao, but you know the biggest player for Leao would be City, which is like, okay, you stay in Milan, you stay in Milan, yeah. Go to Madrid maybe, but you stay in Milan. But yeah, Aston Villa I think has a higher ceiling in terms of long term. This season, I think it's clearly Brighton, and Fulham was fun to watch in the first half of the season, but since like the Mitrovic thing,
Yeah. Which I
am-
enjoyed really well.
yeah. A little for next season, I am very excited of Burnley. We'll see how Company will
Me too.
will do it. We have Burnley, we have Luton, and we have Middlesbrough, I think.
Yeah.
Was it,
I am also excited what will Carrick will do with Middlesbrough, because the second half of the championship apparently was better than Company already. So it's like we will see.
I'm excited for people to go to Luton, because going through people's backyards to go to the stadium would be funny.
Yeah.
But I think from my point of view, I think from a hater's point of view, I think I enjoyed the Leeds season because they went down. But on a serious note, I think Fulham surprised me, because I did not get them in the 10th
We had
place.
them in relegation.
I had them just above. I think they were going to survive. I had them just above. For them to be 10th place, Mitrovic did the wonders for the.
They were playing with 7th for a while.
Yeah, they were. Early on, they were very different.
It was amazing. They dropped off a little bit close to the end, but I think 10th place for Fulham. If anyone, I don't think anyone, except someone was just like total belief. I don't think anyone had them above 15th place realistically. So that is just like very impressive to me. And maybe the falling apart of that team, I don't even know what they were thinking, but especially Mitrovic. But that's something else. And Brighton was my other choice, but JACKO said everything I need to say. I think we don't know what he did to Gomez. What he did, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch, and I think Brighton just have a way just discovering players. I can even pronounce some player's name, and they're scoring in the 90th minute. I was like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? I never knew about him.
One small thing about Brighton also. One of my friends that are United stans, if not Osimhen, his number one target is Evan Ferguson. Like, he is a massive believer in Evan.
Yes.
Like he sees Irish Rooney in him.
He's next up.
He is next up. It'll be smart, but also United never do this. Maybe back in the day, but they never see this guy might be in the future. It's like, no, we need someone now. We need Harry Kane. Even though it's like, how old is he?
I would hate Kane to go to United. for United fans.
Yeah.
A Kane team has a ceiling because Kane team has to be played around Kane, and
yeah.
he isn't, and he isn't.
Yeah, I was also Osimhen over Harry Kane, but when people said, "Well, he's played in the Premier League, it's this, it's that," I was like, "Yeah, but you know, his age, the fact that
Premier League thing needs to die.
Yeah,
The Premier League thing needs to die.
I mean, look at Haaland.
Haaland is one of the
unicorn, man.
Unicorn exceptions, but
Unicorn.
there is the Prem thing needs to really die unless it's you have to have a transfer from La Liga because it's such a way different style of play.
True.
Where you have to ask yourself, but if your guy comes from any other league, probably you have to okay, how good is he? Not how was he playing in the league. You have to look at that. You look at Bruno Guimaraes, not Bruno Fernandes. Both Brunos played very well, but you look at Bruno G.
Yeah.
He was a 35 million signing. Everyone was like, "Holy shit, what a steal!" And then plays very good the first half, second half of last year. Comes in this year, top 4 midfielders in the league. And he has no Prem experience outside of that half of a year. It's
yeah,
that's very true.
No, that's definitely right. My two, I definitely have to agree with you with Brighton. I think it's just crazy how good the football they play is. I watched them wash us. They slapped us. I usually, if I'm watching a game like that, I will just kick off.
That Trossard chop card that game. That was beautiful. Trossard had always something against you. You had to get him because you'll know every time we're gonna play Trossard, there's a chance he's gonna give us at least 2.
I'm finished. Hey, that game was immense, man. That game, I was so impressed by the football, the composure, how well their midfield is special. Their midfield, the shapes they were creating, they just know the system so well.
Alistair Caicedo was crazy.
Bro, they can play through anything. Arsenal is a youthful side, high press, good ball retention, have our qualities. They kept the ball away from us. They resisted the press. It was a beauty. That's football, man. That was football. I loved the way Brighton played this season. Thoroughly impressed, and yeah, they won a part of me during the season.
Yeah,
my
second team.
You know, I'm a secret fan. I'm not a fan, but I'm a secret fan. The way I know if they're playing and Arsenal not playing the same day, I'm watching Brighton. It's definitely crazy. Second team. This one was a tough one. I will probably was kind of leaning towards Newcastle. Obviously football heritage, but seeing someone like Isaac come and just showcase immense skill and quality, and out here looking like a Henri regen in the making, is very scary. It's very scary, and like we said, they have so much potential. The sky is the limits for them. So those are my two teams.
They have a stadium too, so.
Bro.
All they need to do is just restructure the stadium, and we have the best stadium in England outside of the Spurs Stadium and Wembley.
100%. Yeah, it's good. I just what I know. The Newcastle fans are living a movie right now.
Trust.
Living an absolute movie.
They live an isekai. This is literally an isekai. It's an actual isekai.
Real life.
I know we're living the best life when they beat. That Tottenham game was.
I reincarnated as an oil club fan, man. Come on.
But imagine, 5 years ago, to tell you Newcastle was going to beat Tottenham 6-1 in the league at one point.
What? If I tell you when Alan Pardew was still in the club 3 years ago when they were actually fighting relegation, that Newcastle United within the next 3 years will be the second best defense in the Prem, you will not believe me.
You're like, nah, that's a lie, bro. Don't do me like this. Yeah,
definitely
impressive.
crazy. To get your kind of final thoughts, kind of closing or coming to the end section of this discussion, which has been thoroughly enjoyable. What are your expectations for next seasons? What are your bold predictions? We might revisit this next season. So speak truthfully, speak honestly, speak. Put your best foot forward with this one. Whoever wants to go first can definitely
go. I think, I don't know, my bold prediction is Pep is going to do it again. There's going to be a 4-peat, unfortunately. I think people might come close, but I think he might edge it out.
That's not so much bold.
But I think, Man City won. I think Liverpool's going to come back, shock people. Second place. I think United are going to remain the same. Third place. It might change later if we sign all of a sudden do some kind of stupid magic, get Qataris and sign Nosemi. Then it might change. But third place, then I see Newcastle split. I think, unfortunately, I see Arsenal going out of the top 4. That's not a bold prediction because I feel like the Champions League might be too much for them.
What about you, JACKO?
Bold predictions. As a local Aston Villa pusher, I'm gonna say they're gonna be in the Europa League spots this time. They're gonna be in the Europa League spots. They're gonna push out Brighton. I think that is actually very safe for me. And I think Arsenal will have a better season than this one, but they're gonna be third, fourth.
Oh wow! Okay.
In terms of how they're gonna play, how consistent they're gonna be, I think they're gonna be around 80 plus, pretty comfortably, maybe even. But they're gonna be probably third because I think there's gonna be another team that will push high 80s with City, and with expectations wise also, in terms of competitiveness at the top, I pray it's gonna be way more competitive. We'll see about Liverpool. I have no faith in Liverpool.
Oh really?
I have
think
no
they're gonna
faith.
surprise us.
Not for the title. I have no faith for the title. I think they're gonna be very strong for top 4. I have no faith in them in terms of title because they bought McAllister and said, okay, that's it. They are not any rumors and anything. But I hope that in terms of how fun this season was in terms of game to game, week to week, I need the season like this again because, man, the best example, the Liverpool Spurs match. Oh my goodness, great!
No, that was too funny.
That is if you want to have your best fun in your life, go to Expressions Oozing. Check his reaction to Liverpool Spurs. The
Best
last
reaction.
2 minutes. For
Gives me
2
so much
minutes. In 2 minutes. Twitter has a 2-minute 20-second limit, as everyone knows. In less than 2 minutes and 20 seconds, you go from Spurs setting up the free kick that gets them the goal, to Expressions cussing out every living thing in known universe and being in depression and the Streamlave, all of this. It's the biggest 180 in 2 minutes I've seen since probably if anyone has tapes of Bayern against United in 99 Champions League final. Something like this. That would be that is on this level of what the hell?
Thank you, Richarlison. You've done crazy things in my life.
Richarlison, shout out Richarlison, only 1 goal in Spurs, the biggest waste of money this season. I don't care what anyone says about Mudryk. No. I don't care what anyone says about Mudryk. Richarlison is the biggest waste of money this season. 1 goal in the Prem, and the only goal he got in Premier League is the one that was in that game. He has more yellow cards off of his shirt removals after the takeaway goals than actual goals in the Prem. That's an actual stat. He has 3 yellow cards off of the shirt takeaways, and he has 1 goal in the Prem. That's an actual stat. I am sorry. Whatever Mudryk did, I don't care. When you have 4 yellow cards off of offside goals, than the goals itself. I'm sorry.
That's definitely the flop of the season. I don't care what anyone says. People talk about Anthony. Please stop. Richarlison, obviously.
Anthony this year looked like, I don't know, like I'm Grafich compared to like Richarlison. Jesus.
I think it's only the money for Anthony because we spent so much. But realistically,
They spent 60 for Richarlison. Like, what are we talking about?
Waste.
For one goal.
60 million of now King's finest. Although I heard they're not still in print with Kings, so it's still Queens.
It was a shame. It was one of my favorite matches. I think that was the high. My high was watching that match. It was just too funny. It was too funny. I was just laughing. I went on Twitter, saw expressions. I was like, yes. Oh.
Expressions tapes were the best this season, I think, ever.
Oh, the
Liverpool games, was it Europa League they were this season?
Conference League
game. They were in conference. Those are the Conference League tapes were this season?
Yeah, it was this season, G.
This season.
It's been so long.
It's crazy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's a modern day Shakespeare, man. The things he says just crack me up. And him making fun of Robbie as well. Making fun of Robbie gives me so much joy.
We had all in our hands. The latest of his greatest hits is calling Harry Maguire. He never saw a fridge with lifetime warranty.
Hey,
leave my goat alone, man. Leave my goat alone.
He has jokes for days, and that's why I need to see Tottenham continue to suffer.
Yes,
so just for our entertainment. Just for our
season. The problem is that Ryan Mason is not gonna give us so many moments as this year. I think because there's not gonna be that much expectations.
Yeah,
that's the problem this year. Because this year with Conte, I was running the Conte wave, man. I thought, okay, he's trash in the Europe, but in the league he's gonna be like third probably. I had Spurs very high, but another Spurs this season.
I had them 7th, man. They still disappointed me.
60. I'm looking now at the table. 63 allowed goals.
Yeah, it's crazy. 63 allowed goals.
I see whole table.
70.
No one is even breaking 60.
60
Wolves
is
are 58. Wolves are at 58.
Yeah.
They were wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you scroll down a little?
Yeah, of course.
They are the 6th most allowed goals in the Prem. That shows you the season they had. They dropped 70 goals and they had +7. Like, that is just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely a mess of the season. As we close, I want you guys to just firstly appreciate JACKO for coming on. We're definitely going to do this again. Whether it's a preview for the next season or mid-season review, anything football related, I hope you're down for that.
Yeah, of course. We're gonna bring the Chelsea fan in here because I don't wanna hear him not supporting his. I mean, I feel him, but after a preview of the season, he better be here.
Oh, he has to be.
After we sign everyone,
yeah,
he needs to be here.
No, we'll make sure he's here. It will be by force. He'll be like Daniel, even though he says specifically he's fallen out of love with football.
I am the same, but
what? Yours is a kind of different kind of one, though. Barcelona. I feel bad for them, but also it's giving me joy because they tormented my childhood. You know how United tormented everyone else's childhood? Barcelona tormented my childhood.
Yeah, one thing with Pochettino though. The Chelsea is the biggest dark horse of the season because Pochettino with those young guys, it might be the actual thing where they can just blow off and go crazy top 4. They're gonna be fun to watch.
They will.
It's gonna be very fun.
It's Tottenham though. It is the history of Tottenham.
Yeah. But I think this season, people are gonna have hopes, as in Pochettino might actually get something done there as in top 4. But yeah, I enjoyed this time a lot. Like we could go way longer.
We could go. It's dangerous. We could go forever. We can actually go forever. That's the scary thing.
We can go for so long that we would have podcast content for whole summer. Like we all could go vacation.
And this is just Premier League, you know.
And this
This
is-
is only...
And it's Prem.
And it's
Although,
Prem.
we have the most talk about Prem because we are the most invested and we watch it the most.
100%.
But man, the thing that sucks is World Cup is not here. There is nothing to look at for summer outside of transfer rumors, and it's like that just sucks because if you can imagine now the time we finish this Prem season, we finish this Champions League season, which I think Champions League was underrated a little, and now we would have World Cup and we would have time of our lives.
Yeah.
Do you know what we can do instead? After the transfer window closes, we'll come back together and we'll do a preview for next season, and we'll discuss the major ins and outs. How does that sound, guys?
That sounds good.
Okay.
There's a respect United to have no one.
The episode is gonna be 2 hours minimum, but
Hey, it's gonna be
listen.
different.
Yeah, we might do 2-parter even with this.
100%, it's definitely needed. So guys, really appreciate you joining us this special rendition, the AK Mindset, with a special guest, the one and only JACKO, talking
Yes, sir.
Premier League football. You can tell we were hyped about this. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment in the comment section, let us know your thoughts, and like if you agreed with any of the statements, or if you think people if we're way off with some of our statements. But yeah, that's it from us. You guys say your byes and then we'll check out.
Deuces.
Peace.
Later.
You.